Once upon a time in a quiet little town, there lived a girl named Emma who desperately wanted a pet cat. She had always loved animals, especially cats, and often dreamt of having one to cuddle and play with. But Emma's mother, Mrs. Thompson, was firmly against the idea. "Emma, cats are a lot of work," Mrs. Thompson would say every time Emma brought up the subject. "They scratch the furniture, they shed fur everywhere, and they can bring in all sorts of trouble. We don't need a cat in this house." But Emma wouldn't give up so easily. She researched everything about cats, learning how to care for them and how they could bring joy and companionship into a home. Despite her best efforts to convince her mother, Mrs. Thompson remained unmoved. One day, as Emma was walking home from school, she noticed a small, scruffy cat sitting by the roadside. It looked hungry and tired, with its fur matted and its eyes pleading for help. Emma's heart melted instantly. She approached the cat cautiously, and to her surprise, it didn't run away. Instead, it meowed softly, as if asking her for help. Emma knew she couldn't leave the cat there. Ignoring her mother's warnings, she scooped the cat up into her arms and hurried home. She sneaked the cat into her room, knowing she'd have to keep it a secret for as long as possible. Days turned into weeks, and Emma managed to keep the cat hidden, feeding it scraps and giving it water. She named the cat Shadow, because of its sleek black fur that allowed it to disappear into the shadows easily. Shadow became Emma's best friend, and she spent all her free time playing with him. One night, as Emma was about to fall asleep, she heard a noise coming from downstairs. It was a soft rustling, like someone trying to be very quiet. She froze, listening intently, and then she heard it again. Emma's heart began to race. She knew something wasn't right. Shadow, who had been curled up beside her, suddenly sprang to his feet. His fur bristled, and a low growl escaped his throat. Emma had never seen Shadow act this way before. She felt a chill run down her spine as the cat bolted out of the room and down the stairs. Emma followed, trying to be as quiet as possible. As she reached the top of the stairs, she saw the front door slowly creaking open, and a shadowy figure slipping inside. Before she could even react, Shadow leaped at the intruder with a ferocity that took Emma by surprise. The intruder yelped in pain as Shadow clawed and bit, driving the person back out the door. The commotion woke Mrs. Thompson, who came rushing downstairs, her eyes wide with fear and confusion. "What's going on?" she cried. "It's Shadow, Mom. He's protecting us," Emma shouted. Mrs. Thompson watched in disbelief as the small cat chased the intruder away, hissing and spitting with fury. The intruder, clearly not expecting such a fierce defense, turned and fled into the night. Shaken, Mrs. Thompson locked the door and sat down with Emma on the couch, her heart still pounding. She couldn't believe what had just happened. "Emma, where did that cat come from?" she asked, her voice trembling. Emma bit her lip, unsure of what to say. But before she could answer, Shadow jumped onto Mrs. Thompson's lap, purring softly and looking up at her with big, innocent eyes. "I found him, Mom. He was all alone, and I couldn't leave him out there. I've been taking care of him in secret, because I knew you didn't want a cat." Mrs. Thompson looked down at Shadow, who had saved them both from who knows what kind of danger. She stroked his fur gently, feeling the soft warmth beneath her fingers. "Well, it looks like Shadow has earned his place here," she said with a small smile. "He's not just any cat, he's our hero." From that night on, Shadow became a beloved member of the Thompson family. Mrs. Thompson, who had once been so against having a cat, couldn't imagine life without him.